Okay, today we're looking at these solar farms. We're in North Wales. So what are we looking at here, Cass?
Okay, so what is happening across the country is there is numerous solar plan developments under the Renewable Energy Planning Database, and in total there's roughly around 26 renewable energy types. So that's ranging from solar farms, wind turbines, along with something called battery energy storage systems. And what we're looking at here is we are looking at what they call a solar farm. Now, we don't know the type of land that this is actually placed on. However, what we do know is some solar farms are ranging from, going on people's rooftops to into farming land to arable land, as well as brownfield sites, redundant, so there's a whole variety of different types of land that they are being used on.
Okay, Starry, you're in Wigan. Can you tell me what you know about these solar farms?
There's two planned for Higher Green, Astley Green, the village just opposite Astley. M29, now they are planned over a landfill that the locals were promised would be purposed for leisure. And they were promised that it would be re-landscaped. Now these solar farms, there's already a company set up in the village to install two solar farms. So we've got one going over the landfill and one going over a quarry. So in our village we've got multiple things going on. We've got two solar farms, we've got 300 houses, we've got a science park, we've got a designated leisure area, and we've got farmland being flooded with carbon capture. So what they're trying to say is that when they're doing developments, they're trying to say that they have to claim a 10% net biodiversity increase. When questioned further, it turns out that net 10% biodiversity increase could be anywhere. It could be local, it could be national, it could even be abroad. The developer just gets a financial penalty if they do it further away from the site, but it's absolutely rubbish. They're killing the environment and trying to claim that they're doing a 10% biodiversity net increase, and we've got to prove otherwise.
So how's this going to affect our crops in the future?
Well, this is the thing, George, you see, because what we need to be doing is looking at ecological assessments. Now, ecological assessments really do ascertain what that's going to look like maybe in 10, 20 years time. And what would happen is we would be assessing the environment, how would that impact wildlife, along with how would it also affect, the community overall, as well as, the land use itself. So if you think changing a land use could potentially change it permanently. So it's really kind of understanding what this could look like in 10 years' time. So they're saying sometimes solar panels, depending on the type of panel, can range from, they have a shelf life of about 10 years, maybe longer, up to 20 years. But it really is very variable situation. What the thing is here though, George, as well, is if we don't get enough sun, what happens to that electricity? So then if you think about wind turbines, they're utilised to generate other electricity, but then battery energy storage systems, they can hold power for up to about 4 up to 6 hours, right?
So a battery storage system, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so battery energy storage system is a lithium-ion container, and what happens from the overflow of electricity that's created in these solar farms, what then happens is then that if there's an oversupply of it, it then gets fed back to the battery energy storage system. So battery energy storage systems contain lithium-ion batteries, and they can house the electricity for I think there's a maximum of up to 4 up to 6 hours, depending on what it can contain. But let's just say if we don't generate enough power or get enough sun from these solar panels, we might be able to generate more from wind turbines, yes. But what if we can't hold it for very long? What happens then is the question.
You see what you found on your research regarding these solar panels?
So I saw something about Italy, and there was a storm that blew all the solar panels, and then it released like a toxic debris, which was also mercury, and this went into the land and it made it toxic. So in the future, if they wanted to use that land to grow food, then they're not going to be able to, because it's going to be filled with this toxic mercury, which is so bad. And there's also been other incidents as well where there's been, they've been broken, there's been fires, there's been all sorts of things that have happened. So everything about these solar panels is really concerning, and they're covering lots of areas with it, but do we know enough about it? Does the general public know enough about it? And what will happen to this when they don't want it? How will it be recycled? And like we just said with Italy, it proved that there's toxic chemicals within it, which are going to be very difficult to get rid of. It's going to completely destroy our land.
There was a major fire in Liverpool with one of these battery storage systems.
That's right. So there's some of the battery energy storage systems. They do, worldwide it said, in some articles it says 85, there's been 85 fires, and it took 59 hours to put out the one explosion in Liverpool back in 2020, but we're hearing of more. So is it safe to be relying completely on renewable energy is the big question right now,